Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, has pulled even with Donald Trump and is actually pulling ahead in key swing states. So she's pulling even with him in national polls. Um, and when you get to the swing states, for example, voters in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, all those voters got polled for several polls. Bloomberg News, Morning Consultant poll between July 24th and July 28th. They asked the question, who would you vote for between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris if the 2024 election were held today? Now, across all 7 states, and that includes 4,972 voters, so it's not a tiny sample size, Kamala Harris held a lead. She was up by 1 point, beating Donald Trump 48% to 47%. Now, it's worth noting that these results are within the poll's margin of error of 1 point, plus or minus a point, which basically means that it's a tie. But this is a big deal. At the beginning of the month of July, Joe Biden was down 2 percentage points across those same 7 states. Kamala Harris is beating Donald Trump in Arizona, 49 to 47%. She's trouncing him in Michigan right now, 53% to 42%. She's beating him in Nevada, 47 to 45%. Wisconsin, 49 to 47%. Trump is winning Pennsylvania, which we'll get to in a moment. And they're dead even at 47% in Georgia. But Trump is up in Pennsylvania 50% to 46%. Kamala Harris hasn't chosen a VP yet. By next week, she will have chosen a VP. By all indications, she's going to be deciding on a VP in the next few days. She will be interviewing VP candidates in the next few days. It's obvious that there are some finalists. Mark Kelly is a finalist. There's no doubt about that. He is a strong candidate for all the reasons. Former Navy fighter, astronaut. His wife, was a heroic, courageous senator who tragically was assaulted by gun violence. You got Gretchen Whitmer out of Michigan, brings Michigan, which already seems to be winning, but brings a strong all woman ballot, which could signal a different kind of change, which could be interesting. Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, is another option. Again, I mentioned Mark Kelly, Roy Cooper, governor of North Carolina. They all received vetting materials, as far as I know. Andy Beshear in Illinois, Governor Pritzker. Kentucky Governor Beshear, Illinois Governor Pritzker, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo, all are on the medium list. I'll call it. I ain't gonna call it a short list. It's my understanding. Shapiro's on a short list for sure. Waltz is on a short list for sure. Kelly's on a short list for sure. Josh Shapiro could be a game changer. Kamala Harris is winning in most of these states. Pennsylvania is a tough spot for her. So Josh Shapiro might be that person. There's a lot of reasons why Shapiro's compelling. His star is on the rise. He's popular. He's young. He's untainted by national politics, but he's also unproven. He's also, going to be anathema to many progressives, myself included. Josh Shapiro is somebody who has opposed free speech. He's somebody who has supported Israel's war on Gaza. He is somebody who has supported private school vouchers. There are a lot of things that would call one to question his progressive bona fides. So, it's going to be a challenge to walk that tightrope of picking someone that resonates with the people, who has the energy, but also allows you to hold on to the progressives who just got back on the train for the moment. Will it be good for donors? Yeah. Will it be good for centrist Democrats? Absolutely. Will it be good for people who are buying into the right-wing disinformation campaign that Kamala Harris is somehow soft on the issue of Israel-Palestine? And by soft, they mean not sufficiently pro-Israel. If that's your logic, then yeah, you bring Josh Shapiro, who is a dyed-in-the-wool avowed Zionist, Um, but you're going to lose the people who just stopped saying maybe we shouldn't be uncommitted in Michigan, or maybe we shouldn't be uncommitted in Pennsylvania. You're going to lose uh, the people who are public school educators, people who are pro union, who are going to say, wait a minute, this voucher system, you're undermining us here. So this is going to be a challenge. Kamala Harris leading the polls right now is a great sign for the Harris campaign. It's certainly a great sign for the Stop Trump at All Costs movement, but it's not necessarily a great sign for progressives and radicals and anyone who wants to see substantive change in society, because at this point, she's gained a groundswell of support without making any kind of political concessions toward a left-wing political platform. So we're going to have to keep pressing her. We're going to have to keep challenging her. Uh, we have to be practical and pragmatic. I get that. You know, I understand the danger of Trump, but we also can't just lay down and never offer a critique or pose a challenge or apply any political pressure to Vice President Harris's campaign for the presidency. So that's a big deal. But these media polls, these media companies that are releasing polls, this is not a small thing. This is not a small thing.